given an array of intervals where intervals I is equal to start, end, merge all overlapping intervals, and return an array of the non-overlapping intervals that cover all the intervals in an input. So you give in intervals of start time and end time. You basically need to merge them if they overlap with each other. For example, 1 intervals is equal to 1, 3, 2, 6, 8, 10, 15, 18. So the output would be 1, 6, 8, 10, and 15, 18. So 1 and 3 has been merged with 2, 6. Yeah, 6 because they overlap with other. You merge them to 1, 6. So you have this output here. So let's go to example number 2. Input is intervals equals 1, 4, 4, 5. The output would be 1, 5. Explanation, intervals 1, 4, and 4, 5 are considered as overlapping. Yeah, because, so this is basically less than or equal. So this start end time of the first pair and the start of the second pair are overlapping with each other. I'll show you how we, the different cases of how we do this. So for example, you're given this input here, and then start time and end time pairs. There basically is two scenario. One is when they overlap. So when they overlap, you have these two possible scenario. For example, you have an input of 1, 4 and 3, 6. So the output would be 1, 3, 4, 6. So this is your first condition where or 4 is greater than or equal to 3, right? Now you have the second scenario where 1, 2, 3, where the second pair, both of the start time and end time of the second pair is actually inside the first pair. So this is your so overlapping scenario. So you do have a scenario where it's not overlapping, for example 2, 6, 8, 10, like this. So if you have something like this, the output would be, you just append, right? You just append the 8, 10 to the 2, 6. The trick here is if it's overlapping, you basically have to modify the first pair. So while you're scanning through your array list, you basically modify the first pair end time. So in this case, let's say it's 1, 4, the end time of 4 becomes 6 because you're merging them. In this case, like, no, it's actually 6, 1, 6, because 6 is greater than 4. So the output of this is actually 1, 6. For this one, where the end time of the second pair is less than the end time of the first pair, you're basically still keeping the end time of the first pair, which is 4. So there's two scenarios here, where one is you're keeping the end time of the first pair, the second is you're using the end time of the second pair. So you do have 1, 6 and 1, 4 when they're overlap. Yeah. So that's all the scenarios. So I think we can start coding for that. Also notice that you cannot, you need to sort the start time of the pairs before you could do the merging. So yeah. So in this case, maybe we can start forward using sort slice, and then we sort the first pair of the okay. Then we basically return this int. So we want this to sort the first the start time. So it should be less than, greater than intervals b. So after we sort it, we could build our array result, which is this. And then we have this previous variable where we store the running or previously held variable. So initially we start with interval 0, and then we assign, right? Or assign append. So initially our previous result array contains only the previous. Okay, so in this case, now we try to scan I is equal to 1, then I is less than len of intervals, then I plus plus. So this is where we do have our two scenario here. So one is the overlapping scenario, and then the other one is the non-overlapping scenario. So for the overlapping scenario, we do write, have to check if the end time which is 1, is greater than equal to the start time of the first pair. Basically, the end time of the previous time is greater than second pair. Okay, and then you do have also another scenario where the previous end time is also greater than the end time of the second pair. If that's the case, we modify our previous end time. So previous end time will now be it's less than, actually, so it's less than previous end time will be this. If it's not overlapping, we basically just previous just assign false I to intervals I. Then if it's not overlapping, you also need to append that to our current previous. So basically we're adding that to our result list. And then we just return result here. So let's try if this is gonna work. Define intervals. Okay, first case, second case passed, so submit, see if it works. Okay, there you go. If it's not sorted, obviously you cannot merge all the intervals together. So the time complexity of this solution is actually n log n, basically because you need to sort it, right? Because of the slice that sort. Space complexity is O of n if you include the result list. We're using an array to store our results, so we'll consider that O of n. So if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. If you do have any comments, please write down below your comments. So and we'll see you again in the next episode of LeetCode.